Hello everyone, my name is Mo and welcome to another video of Income Investors. With me today is John Whitefoot and we'll be talking about another exciting dividend play. But before I go into any details, I want to let you know that anything you hear in this video is for information and educational purposes only. No matter how safe an investment sounds, it comes with risk. To read more about risk involving investing, please see the description below. Energy sector was one of the best performing sector in 2021 and 2022 with such a solid performance. There could be a thought out there that, hey, maybe 2023 won't be as good for the sector, but there is a decent chance that energy sector could surprise. Goldman Sachs, for example, came out recently saying that, oil could go higher. And they say that it could happen on the back of what's happening in the Chinese economy. More oil needed by the Chinese economy, meaning higher oil prices, given all the constraints that are already in place. Also, energy sector is currently one of the cheapest, when you look from PE ratio perspective, one of the cheapest valued sector out there. The next to it is basic materials. With cheap valuation, strong earnings and a market deficit could spur investors' sentiment and spark a rally in oil prices. And with this in mind, today we're going to be talking about a company called MV Oil Trust. They're traded on New York Stock Exchange under symbol MVO. John?
Yeah, thanks, Mo. MV Oil Trust is a Dallas, Texas-based oil and gas exploration and production company that holds interests in oil and natural gas properties of MV Partners, LLC. According to the most recent information, which was as of March 16th, 2023, MV Oil Trust has interests in about 860 oil and gas wells located in the mid-continental region in the United States of Kansas and Colorado, where most E&P companies dig deep into their pockets and spend millions on dollars drilling new wells and sites. MV Oil keeps its hands in its pockets. The partnership gets as much as it can out of an existing operation or well, and it gives the vast majority of its profit to unit holders. Yeah, with a royalty trust, investors profit from the income produced by the asset, which is usually a coal mine, oil well, or gas deposit. Investors get cash distributions based on royalties if the company produces revenue from the natural resources. But when the resource is exhausted, the trust is dissolved. The caveat comes with some warnings. Because they pay all their cash flows to investors, their distributions can be quite high. On the other hand, wells eventually run dry. When I wrote on this company back in February 2022, it actually had 900 wells in its portfolio, compared to 860 now. But fear not, the project reserve life of the underlying properties for MV Oil is over 44 years.
John, you just mentioned that their well count has declined. With this, are their dividends safe?
Again, they have a reserve life of 44 years. So I think that's one of the big takeaways. And that doesn't mean that the company won't buy other wells as well. Okay. But again, when you know that they have almost a half a century of production left in them, you know that for the most part, as long as they're pulling something out of the ground, the dividend is safe. Having said that, it will still fluctuate based on supply and demand and prices, production levels and gas prices, all of which can be unpredictable. And since the company pays out almost all of its cash flow to investors, again, the good thing is the yield can be exceptionally high. For example, in the first quarter of 2023, the company announced that it generated 971 barrels of oil equivalent with an average price per barrel of $72.67. This resulted in a quarterly distribution of 0.345 cents per unit, or $2.14 per unit on an annual basis, for a yield of 19.89%, which crushes the U.S. inflation rate of 4.9%. But it's important to compare, to put it in context. So for comparison's sake, in the second quarter of 2022, the company generated 158,092 barrels of oil equivalent with an average price of $102.11, which resulted in a quarterly distribution of 70 cents per unit. So that just goes to illustrate how the company's quarterly distribution can fluctuate and why it's important for investors to always pay attention to what's going on in the energy sector. Like, this isn't one of those stocks that you can just stick in your portfolio and forget about. You need to pay attention just so you know what's going on. That said, say for the last few months, MV Oil Trust stock has been one of the best performing stocks in the industry. Between March 2020 and January 2023, MVO stock soared over 1,300%. from $1.11 per unit to $15.57 per unit. Yeah, MVO oil and Trust stock is retraced a little from those record levels, but the outlook remains robust on the tailwinds of the oil and gas industry, near term and long term.
Just to recap, we talked about MV Oil Trust. They're traded on New York Stock Exchange under symbol MVO. Thanks to recent oil cuts by OPEC, increasing demand in China, chances of mild recession increasing, MVO stock looks like a great opportunity for those who are looking for a solid income and capital appreciation over long term. The stock price has done exceptionally well over the past few years. And if oil prices could stay the same, it could provide decent return over time as well. If you want to read more of John's ideas, you could go to incomeinvestors.com, where he writes regularly about exciting income plays. That's it for now. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel, and we'll see you soon.